Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Civil Engineering Education. Today in this video I am going to discuss about estimation or quantity surveying, which is the most important subject for BE, B.Tech as well as Diploma. So in the field of construction we come across different types of calculations. So being a civil engineer, we should have minimum knowledge on how to calculate based on IS recommendations. So the construction project may be any kind. It may be a building project, it may be a road construction, or it may be any public health engineering structure. So we should have proper knowledge on how to calculate the quantities and the cost required. So let us learn this subject in this video lecture, and also those who are watching this video, don't skip in the middle and watch the video till end. So let us begin. Now let us see what is estimation. Estimation is nothing but this is the process of computation or calculation of quantities required as well as the cost for a project. So before going for any execution of project, we should have proper knowledge on what are the quantities required as well as the cost required for that particular project. So if we don't have proper knowledge on the cost as well as the quantities, we may face some problem during the execution. So that is the reason we are going to do estimation. So let us see what is estimation. So what is estimation? This is nothing but this is the process of computation or calculation of quantities required and also cost of a project before execution. So this is most important to know the quantities of project as well as the cost. So mainly we need to focus on quantities required like men, material and machinery. So M, these are most important for every project. We should know the quantities of that. So next one is by doing rate analysis and finding the cost of project. So this is nothing but estimation. So before going for any execution of project, we should have proper knowledge on quantities required as well as the cost of project. So here men, material and machinery. This is nothing but different types of people are working in the construction project. They may be engineers, they may be supervisors, they may be any kind of laborers, and different materials we will be using in the construction project. It may be cement, concrete, steel or any other material. So this should be known. And the next one is machinery. Different types of machineries also we are going to use in the construction project. So that should be known before going for execution. So this will give us proper idea about the project. So every engineer or a builder or a owner should have proper knowledge on these. So this is the importance of estimation and costing. So it is also called as quantity surveying. So let us see what is the actual purpose of doing this estimation. So let us see what is the purpose. Purpose of estimation. So here I'll write few points. First one is, what is the main purpose of doing estimation? So this is to know the quantities required, like men, machinery and also material. To know the men, machinery and material, we should do this. Second one is to know the project cost. To know the project cost. Third one is to decide whether the available funds are sufficient or not. So to decide whether the available funds are sufficient or not. Next, fourth one is for inviting tenders. So this is also one of the important point. And fifth one is for sale or purchase of property. So for sale and purchase of property. And sixth one is for registration and deciding stamp duties. So these are the 6 important points by which we can know what is the purpose of doing the estimation. So first one is to find out the quantities like men, machinery and material. Second point is to know the project cost. Third one is to decide whether the funds available are sufficient or not. In case the available funds are not sufficient, in that cases we can go for some arrangements. So again, if it is not possible to arrange the funds, then we can do some modifications in the specifications so that the project cost can be decreased. So next one is for inviting tenders. So for inviting any tender for a project, so this should be done. Next, for sale and purchase of property. In case of sale or purchase of property, the property value should be known. So in that case also we will do the estimation. Next one is registration and deciding stamp duties. In case of property registration, we should know the property value. So in that cases also we are going to do this estimation. So these are the important points for doing estimation. So let us see what are the duties of a quantity surveyor. So what are the duties of a quantity surveyor? So what is the actual role and responsibility of a quantity surveyor, or he can also be called as estimator? So first one, prepare bill of quantities. It is also called as BOQ. Second one is preparing bill of adjustments in case of modifications in designs during execution. So he need to prepare bill of adjustments in case of changes in designs. Third one is preparing quotations or estimates for inviting tenders. So here fourth one is for giving any legal advices in case of court proceedings. So in case of any court proceedings. So these are the most important points and these are the responsibilities of a quantity surveyor or an estimator. So here if you see bill of quantities, this is done based on the help of drawings. So drawing should be more important here. So for preparing bill of quantities, that is also called as BOQ. Next one is preparing bill of adjustments. In case of any changes in the designs during construction, what will happen? At that time also we should do the bill of adjustments. Next, third one is preparing quotations or estimates for inviting tenders. So here it is the role of a quantity surveyor to prepare this. Next one is giving any legal advices in case of court proceedings. So in this case also he is most important person. So these are the important points which I have written here. So these are the duties of a quantity surveyor. So now let us see what are the types of estimates. What are types of estimates? So what are types of estimates? Mainly estimates are of three types. So first one is approximate estimate or rough estimate, or it is also called as preliminary estimate. So it is also called as preliminary estimate. Second one is detailed estimate. Second one is detailed estimate and third one is abstract estimate. So these are the three important types of estimates we come across. So first one is approximate estimate. It is also called as a rough estimate and it is also called as preliminary estimate. So this is first one. Second one is detailed estimate and third one is abstract estimate. So let us see what are they. If you take first one, here this is not accurate. So this is not accurate one. So whatever the cost, whatever the quantities we are finding here, this is only for preliminary study. This is just for idea purpose. So based on the estimate cost we got here, that is taken into consideration for preliminary levels. So second point is here data is not required. So here second point is data is not required. Data like it is drawings, specifications, and third one is rates. So in this method, this is rough estimate which is not accurate one, data is not required, like drawings, specifications and also rates. So these are not required for preliminary estimate or rough estimate. So this is only done for preliminary study. So coming to second and third one, these two are accurate. These two are accurate methods and data is mandatory. Data is mandatory. What is the data? This is the data, like drawings, specifications and rates. So these three are most important for doing detailed estimate and abstract estimate. So let us see one by one with an example. Now this approximate estimate is again divided into three types. First one is plinth area method. Second one is cubic content method. Third one is service unit method. So again this approximate estimate is divided into three types: plinth area method, cubic content method and service unit method. We will see these three methods one by one with an example so that you can understand it clearly. So first one, plinth area method. So in plinth area method, this is nothing but these methods are mostly used for building calculations. So in case of building calculations, we will use these methods. So the formula for plinth area method: cost of building is equal to plinth area multiplied by plinth area rate. So cost of building is equal to plinth area multiplied by plinth area rate. So this is the formula we use for calculation of cost of building. So let us take an example. So if I want to construct a building for a plot of 30 feet by 60 feet, let us take a plot of size 30 feet by 60 feet. This is the plot. I want to do the construction and I want to find out the cost of building. So let me draw the plot. So this is my plot of size 30 feet this side, 60 feet this side. So the plot area will be area of plot is equal to 1800 SFT. So this is the plot area based on the plot size. So if I want to construct a building on that, so according to local municipal body, there are some norms in constructing the building. So here what we will do, we need to leave the setbacks for this plot. So I'll show it here. So the area which I have drawn here, this is the area where we do the construction. So this is the area where we do the construction. So here it is, this is plot and this is plinth or so this outer box which is plot and this hatched portion is plinth or built up area in which we are going to do our construction. So here, so this is first one, the plot size is 30 feet by 60 feet and the area of plot is 1800 SFT. Now let us see how to find the plinth area. Plinth area is equal to how much? So according to the local municipal body, as I told you, there are some norms. We need to leave some space, that is the gap all around the building. So we need to leave the gap all around the building. So this gap is called setbacks. Setbacks are nothing but this is the space which is left over in order to provide proper ventilation and fresh air to that building. So here we need to leave the setbacks. So here what I am doing for plinth area, I am taking 75% of plot area. 75% of plot area, that is 1800 SFT. So remaining 25% what I am doing, I am leaving the space for this setbacks. So for proper ventilation. So here how much plinth area I will get it? So 1800 SFT into 75%. So 0.75. So here I will get 1350 SFT. So this is my plinth area. Plot size is 30 feet by 60 feet and the area is 1800 SFT. Here I am going to use only 1350 SFT for construction. So here third point is rate. How I should know the rate? So whenever we need to construct any kind of building, what we will do? We will contact any contractor or an engineer. So here what will happen? If we consult any contractor, what he will say? He will charge around 1300 rupees. A contractor will charge around 1300 per SFT to 1600 per SFT. So he will be charging, contractor will be charging around 1300 SFT to 1600 SFT, 1600 rupees per SFT. So here what will happen? Our plinth area is 1350 SFT. So to get the cost of building, as I have written the formula here, cost of building is equal to plinth area multiplied by plinth area rate. So this is plinth area rate. So cost of building is equal to plinth area. This is the plinth area, 1350 into, I will take not 1300, not 1600, approximately I am taking 1500 rupees. This is per SFT. So here how much I will get? The cost of building will be 20 lakh 25,000 rupees. So this is the cost of construction which is done for plot of size 30 feet by 60 feet. So this is the building cost. I hope you understood. Based on the plinth area, we need to find the cost of building. Here I have taken 30 feet by 60 feet plot. From this I have taken 75% for construction. I got 1350 SFT as the plinth area, and the rate is which I have taken is 1500 rupees. And if you multiply plinth area 1350 into 1500, you will get this cost. So this is the example for plinth area method. Now let us go with second method. Second one is cubic content method. So this is the second method in approximate estimation. So here in cubic content method, I'll write the formula here. Cost of building is equal to cubic content multiplied by cubic content rate. So this is the formula. So cost of building is equal to cubic content, that is nothing but volume of building, multiplied by cubic content rate. So let us see the example for this one. For example, if I want to construct a building, calculate the cost of building, for the following data. Let us take an example. So if I take plinth area is equal to 400 square meters and height of each floor is equal to 3 meters and total number of floors are G plus 2, ground plus 2 floors. Now cubic content rate. So now cubic content rate is equal to, let us take 3500 per meter cube. So this is the example for this cubic content method. So calculate the cost of building. We need to find the cost of building. The given plinth area is 400 square meters and height of each floor is 3 meters. Number of floors are G plus 2. That means total 3 stories and cubic content rate. So how we got this? This cubic content rate or plinth area rate or service unit rate, we will get this based on the analysis of recent building constructions which have undergone in the locality. So this rate is taken from nearby building constructed in our areas. So this is the rate and we need to find out the cost of building. So here cost of building is equal to cubic content. What is cubic content? I'll write it here. Cubic content is nothing but this is the multiplication of plinth area and height of each floor and number of floors. So these three. So these three are cubic content, comes under cubic content. So here plinth area, multiplied by height of each floor multiplied by number of stories. So number of stories. So here we have to multiply this one and this one. So if we multiply plinth area 400 square meters and we need to multiply with height of each floor, that is 3 meters, and we need to multiply number of stories. That is nothing but G plus 2, that means 3 stories. So here we need to multiply with 3. So here we will get the cubic content. So directly I will do it here. Cost of building is equal to cubic content, as I have written there, 400 into 3 into 3. So this is cubic content volume, and the rate we have taken is 3500. So how much we will get? So let us calculate. So here 1 crore 26 lakh. So this is the cost of building which we got from this question. So this is the example for cubic content method. So I hope you understood this. So cost of building is equal to cubic content into cubic content rate. So this is cubic content which we got, and this is the cubic content rate. If we multiply that two, we will get the cost of building. So this is the example for cubic content method. So let us go with third method. Next, third method is service unit method. Third method is service unit method. So I'll write the formula for this. Cost of building is equal to number of service units multiplied by cost of each service unit. So this is the formula. Cost of building is equal to number of service units multiplied by cost of each service unit. So here let us see what is service unit. So service units are nothing but, this depends on type of structure. This is type of structure and service units. So what are the types of structures? So first one is school building. If you are taking school building, the service units will be number of students. If you are taking hospital, building, number of beds. If you are taking auditorium, so here number of chairs. Similarly, if you are taking roads, for road works per kilometer. So these are service units. So let us take one example. Calculate the cost of building. Calculate the cost of building for a hospital with 20 beds. So the question is, calculate the cost of building for a hospital with 20 beds. So for hospital we need to take number of beds. So there are total 20 number of beds. So cost of each service unit. Let us take 80,000 rupees. This is per service unit. Let us write like this. So cost of each service unit is equal to 80,000 rupees per unit. So I need to find the cost of building. So from the formula, cost of building is equal to number of service units, that is 20 beds, and cost of each service unit. So cost of building is equal to number of service units, that is 20, into each service unit value. So 80,000 rupees. So it will be 16 lakh. So this is the cost of building. So this is the example for service unit method. So in service unit method, this is very simple. Cost of building is equal to number of service units and cost of each service unit we need to multiply. So this is the number of service unit and this is the cost. So that we'll get this cost as 16 lakhs. Based on type of structure, we need to select the service units. So this is the example for service unit method. So let us go with second type of estimate, that is detailed estimate, and third one is abstract estimate. Now let us see another type of estimate, that is detailed estimate. This is second type. So as I told you about this type of estimate, we will see in detail. So first one, this method is accurate one. This is accurate method. Second point is data is required, like drawings, specifications, and rates. So this is most important. Third one is we can calculate only quantities. So in this method only we can calculate quantities. Next one is, so different items of work. All items of work like earthwork, PCC, RCC, it may be for footings, columns, whatever it may be, plastering, etc. This should be calculated separately. Next point, all the items of construction should be in order, that is from excavation to plastering. So next one is all the dimensions like length, breadth, depth or height, and numbers should be taken from drawings correctly. So these are all the important points which I have written here. In case of detailed estimate, these are most important points which we need to remember. So first one is, this method is accurate method, as I told you before, and second one is data is required. So which type of data we require? We require drawings, specifications and rates. But here I told only we can calculate quantities, but this data is required. This data we'll use in abstract estimation. So here third point, we can calculate only quantities. You should keep in mind that in this detailed estimate we can calculate only quantities. Cost can be calculated in abstract estimation. So next one is D. All items of work like earthwork, PCC, RCC and plastering, this should be calculated separately. If you are calculating earthwork, all the earthwork should be in separate format. And next PCC, if you are calculating PCC, all the PCC calculation should be separate. Next one is RCC, all the RCC should be separate. So like this we need to calculate separately for all items of work. Next point is, all the items of construction should be in order. So generally how we'll do the construction? So first of all we'll go for excavation, next one is PCC, next one is RCC for footing, next one is neck columns and all. So in that proper order of construction we need to take the quantities. So last one is, all the dimensions like length, breadth, depth or height and numbers should be taken correctly from drawings. All these dimensions should be proper from the drawings. If the drawings are not clear, then our calculation will be completely wrong. So this is the reason why we require this data. So let us see what is the standard format. So standard format of calculation. So this is the standard format. Serial number, description, numbers, length, breadth, depth or height and quantity, it may be meter square or meter cube, and last one is total quantity, it may be meter square or meter cube, and at last it will be remarks. So this will be our table. This is the standard format of detailed estimate. So by using this table we will do the calculations. So there are total 9 number of columns which you have to remember here. Serial number, description, numbers, length, breadth, depth, quantity, total quantity, at last remarks. So these all we need to fill one by one based on the drawing dimensions. So by seeing the drawing dimensions correctly, we have to fill this, and at last here we need to find the quantities. So whatever the quantities we are obtaining here, this quantity should be written in abstract estimation. I will explain next. So this is the detailed estimate, and next one is abstract estimate. Let us see that. So third one is last one is abstract estimate. Here I'll write few points. First one is, it is accurate method. Data is required for this. And third one is only cost can be estimated. Only cost can be estimated. So here, and one more thing, rates are taken by doing rate analysis or from SSR. Okay, rates can be taken from by doing rate analysis or from SSR. So these are the most important points which we need to remember while doing abstract estimation. So let us see the standard format. So let us see the standard format. So here, serial number, description, next one is total quantity. It may be meter square or meter cube. Next one is rate, this is in rupees. And next one is unit, and next one is total amount in rupees, and next one is remarks. So this is the standard format of abstract estimation. So here, after getting the quantities in detailed estimation, we need to write that total quantities here, and we have to take the rates from SSR or by doing rate analysis. By doing rate analysis, we will get some values, some rates that we can use it here, or else from SSR also we can take the rates. So if we multiply total quantity and rate, then we will get total amount here. So multiplication of total quantity and rate will give you total amount here. So that by if we add this total amount, we will get the total amount here. So this is the procedure of calculation of cost in abstract estimate method. So these are the three important types of estimates which we have seen here. So examples for detailed estimate and abstract estimate we will see in the next lecture. So that's all for today. We have covered what is estimation, purpose of doing estimation, and what are the duties of an estimator or a quantity surveyor, and also different types of estimates like approximate estimate, detailed estimate, and also abstract estimation. So that's all for today. We'll continue with another lecture. If you like this video, hit the like button and do subscribe and follow our channel. Thank you for watching.